Welcome back to Houston Life. August is National Deli Month, and today we are highlighting Kenny and Ziggy's New York delicatessen, considered an institution by many Houstonians. I will put my vote in, absolutely.
I am included. I will stop by for their tuna and bagel any day. Ziggy Gruber, owner of Kenny and Ziggy's, joins us now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's a special month. You're giving back to Holocaust Museum. We're going to tell you about all those details. I got to tell you, this has been one of the highlights of my week, just sitting and chatting with you, before today's show. And I didn't realize, A, not only how much you and I have in common in terms of just like location and proximity, but B, the background of your family, Ziggy, is fascinating. Can you take us all the way back? Because your grandfather owned a number of restaurants in New York City, including right in Times Square where the Marriott Hotel
absolutely.
stands.
Wow.
So my grandfather had the first delicatessen on Broadway called the Rialto.
And this is outside that delicatessen.
Exactly.
You see it in the background. And that is just like a gentleman up front there.
And Walter Winchell used to write his column there every day, the famous Walter Winchell. And you had everyone, the Marx Brothers, the Ritz Brothers, you had everything. There's me.
And they put you to work for me.
Well, not at the Rialto. That was me when I was a kid, I probably look about 8 or 10 there.
You look so official.
Yeah, well, I was. Listen, I was there, you know. My grandfather, at an early age, threw an apron at me and told me, you know what, you're old enough, it's time to make a living.
Wow.
Yep, I think I've heard that in my house, too.
I mean, that's ingrained in you then.
Oh, that's my bar mitzvah.
So you were learning, look at this.
That's such a great photo. Hey, I do want to mention, though, like Jewish tradition, it is absolutely, I think, the most important part whenever I talk about the deli, or if I'm talking about food for Rosh Hashanah or Passover, any of these things. Kenny and Ziggy's is at the top of the list for anything that our families and many other Houston families are going to, because it's trusted, we know it's going to be fabulous, and it's part of the tradition.
We do a lot of life cycle events. We get when people have a bris or a baby naming, or even a christening for people that aren't Jewish. If we do birthday parties, you know, we do, unfortunately, a lot of funerals, a lot of shivas. But when it comes for the holidays, we're the king of that. Because look, let's be honest, who wants to trust their food for people that only are going to cook 1 or 2 times a year, that kind of food?
Right.
With us, it's a Jewish holiday 365 days of the year, so we're cooking all that food all the time. So you know exactly what it's going to taste like. And to be honest with you, we hold a lot of secrets. Look, we're not going to tell anybody that chopped liver that you're telling everyone is yours is ours. We're not going to tell you that kugel is yours. Believe me, we laugh. At one time, I think for like Passover, I think on everyone's table we had at least one item on everybody's table, which I can imagine. So we hold a lot of secrets.
Confirm.
It's so much fun seeing the photos of you growing up in the kitchen. That last photo we saw, Ziggy G's, this was on Sunset Boulevard, Sunset Plaza, one of the hottest places in LA. And this restaurant was open from 91 to 1998. This was right before you moved to Houston.
Correct.
And tell us stories about who you saw in this restaurant.
Oh, I mean, we had everyone from, Arnold Schwarzenegger and what do you call it, Sylvester Stallone. We had Warren Beatty and Annette Bening with Dennis Hopper. We had Johnny Depp would come in there with Kate Moss. We would have also Leonardo DiCaprio. We had so many people. We had a lot of music people too. Prince would come in.
Oh man!
And we had what do you call it? Paul Stanley from Kiss.
See,
and all of that.
The deli community, and I'm sorry to jump in, Ziggy, but it's more than just having a great meal, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're building community. It's a hangout. It's a familiar spot, and this is something that you know how to do. You know how to create that vibe.
Look, I've been doing it now for 47 years, and my family. In 2027, the Gruber family will be doing this for 100 years.
Wow.
Congrats.
A whole century. Well, then, so we looked at Kenny G's, right? Ziggy G's.
Yes.
When did you, in 99 is when you came into Houston, right?
Right.
So how did that decision get made?
Okay, so me and the old owner of the Carnegie were going to open up in Times Square. And Rudy just basically cleaned up all the Times Square. If you saw what it was, you know, in the old days, you know, you had a lot of risque movie theaters, and you had hookers all over the place. So they cleaned it all up, and the rents went ridiculous. So we were negotiating, and I said, you know what, we're not going to sign this lease. This is ridiculous. So we went out to a restaurant called Spark Steakhouse, which was a very famous steakhouse because Big Paul got knocked off over there. Okay, so we went there, and we got a phone call from a gentleman named Lenny Friedman, who had a son named Kenny. And Lenny was a very successful real estate developer here in Houston and also in Southern Florida. And he was a good friend of Freddie. And Freddie put me on the phone, and Lenny could sell ice to Eskimos, and he talked me into coming down here. And thanks to Lenny, I came down here, and we looked at this, and I loved Houston. We shook hands, and the rest is history.
Amazing.
24 years and counting, by the
No,
way.
27.
27 years in business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you opened the moment you got here. Hey, I know we're going to go in the kitchen. Tell us a little bit about this annual Holocaust luncheon.
Okay, so we do the New York Deli Month, which is good to preserve and teach people about Jewish food through the culture of the culinary culture. And we decided to partner up with the museum, the Holocaust Museum here in Houston, and we do a survivors luncheon. And it is a wonderful thing to really pay homage to all these people that went through so much and to survive that ordeal. And it's a wonderful thing. It's also bittersweet because every year it gets less and less and less. And one day it's just going to be me and somebody else sitting on a table, which is sad because we should never forget something that tragic happened. That goes for any ethnic group. It just shouldn't happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
And it also underscores, I think, the importance of things like Deli Month, bringing people together, family members, children, grandchildren, to keep the memories and the stories alive.
Yep.
Ziggy Gruber, it's always so great to see you.
I love coming here. Are you kidding me?
You're part of our family.
But you brought the food, right?
Of course I did. Well, listen. Have I let anyone starve to death?
No.
I never let anyone starve to death. Why would I do that?
Unheard of. Okay, so after the break, we're going to go over into the kitchen with Ziggy to learn how to make a traditional kugel. That is when Houston.
We're going to make oodles of kugel.
Oodles of kugel. Welcome back to Houston Life. We've been hanging out with Ziggy Gruber from Kenny and Ziggy's New York Delicatessen.
Oh yeah, and to celebrate National Deli Month, Ziggy is teaching us how to make a traditional Jewish kugel. Now, first of all, Ziggy, for people who don't know what that is, maybe they've heard the word before, what is it?
Well, kugel is like saying pudding. Okay, so there can be any kind of kugel you want. It's totally how you make it. We're making two today, but we have savory kinds, and we also have sweet ones.
Kind.
Okay.
It looks kind of like a quiche or a casserole.
It is, but it's like a pudding or a Jewish frittata, if you want to say.
Yes, I think that's a really good comparison.
You want to try something? No,
I want to try something.
Okay, so try.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Like I've never
so this
had
is
it
the
before.
sweet one.
Okay. I always like to start with dessert because it tastes better when you're hungry.
Of course. Well, life is uncertain. Eat dessert first.
Hey, I like that.
Oh my God.
So is the
good.
base like an eggy kind of base?
It is an egg base, yes.
That's good.
It's a custardy.
Oh my
kind of
gosh, that is. Do you have a favorite out of these? Which one do you start with?
Which one? I like them both. It depends when I'm pairing it with the main course itself. So, for example, on certain things, if it's really like hearty in that, I do like a little sweetness to it. Sometimes if it's like for fish and stuff like that, I like something that's a little bit more savory.
My mom makes one that's a potato kugel, so that's always a very popular one too.
Potato kugels is one of my favorites as well. We got potato kugel. We have oodles of kugels at the deli. In 4 weeks, we have the high holidays.
Yes.
So we have our menu, which you can go online and see it. We have oodles of kugels. We got Yerushalayim kugel. We got the sweet noodle kugel. We got the the spinach kugel. We got a carrot souffle.
Oh man.
The Hamisha potato. Everything.
All of it.
All of it.
Go in and order one of these.
No. I mean, listen.
But see, this is kind of an appetizer. You said you're eating this up into the meal because the meal portions, Ziggy, are ginormous as well. You have to say.
God forbid anyone would go hungry. I would get very, very upset at night. Listen to this. All these kugels are great, and they really make the food stand out.
100%.
You know?
It's always a fantastic spread. Okay, you're going to show us how to make it?
I'm going to show you make it.
Great.
So let's start off with the savory one.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to give it a little whisk.
Okay, we're going to, this is a big whisker.
Yeah.
What do you have in that?
Now always go like that on the side. It brings, it incorporates air into the eggs.
Okay.
Okay, now put it a little lower like that. We're going to slowly add the milk.
Okay.
Like
How many
so.
eggs do you have in there, Ziggy?
I have 6 eggs in there.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go underneath behind you.
Was that whole milk or what?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm going to add the seasening to it. We got garlic. We got some salz. We got pepper. That's Yiddish for pepper. We got a little soya put in there. Okay, we put some real caramelized onions, or ciboulette, as we say.
Okay.
Fragrance.
You know,
I do this
for I do this for my friends. A shout out to my friends in the Koyel over there in the Southwest, Fondren Southwest. They know what I'm talking about.
Making some
over there. Listen, they love this. And we're going to put the Lakshan. This is the noodles, very fine. Okay, give it a good mix.
As I'm mixing this, why don't you start with Derek's as well?
Okay, so you give that a good, that's a mix. Now again, on an angle
on the side like that?
Yes,
on the side?
yes. We're going to add a little milk.
Okay, we got some whole milk here.
Okay.
Do you make the kugel at home for your 10 and 11-year-old kids?
Oh,
By the way, you all know
absolutely.
Ziggy's a dad, right?
Yes.
Single, ready to mingle?
Yes. We have, unfortunately, we don't have our wife anymore. That's terrible. But we have the 2 Kinderluck there. One's 10 and one's 11.
I know a bunch of matchmakers. That's going to be ready to hook you up. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We got a minute left.
Okay, quick. We're going to do a little quicker. We're going to add a little baking powder, okay?
Sugar, baking powder.
We're going to add, best we use Mexican vanilla. It is fantastic. Going to add a little bit of oil.
Just like a vegetable
we got
oil
and we're going to add a wide egg noodle. Now look, this is my basic, and I add all kinds of fruit to it.
Okay.
Like in the fruit that you had there, had a combination of some pears and peaches I had, and some grapes. I added that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I add some cherries. If you want, you can throw in blueberries. You can throw in all kinds of strawberries. It can make it your own.
Ziggy Gruber, we got a wrap right there.
No problem. So we don't have time, but we're going to throw it in
there. Bake it.
Bake it at 375 for about 45 minutes, and you're going to have a gorgeous one like this one, and you're going to have a gorgeous one like that one. Kinahara.
It is gorgeous.
And let me tell you something. So Esk is into hate, eat in good health. You should only be well, and your family should have a good Yontif. And please come and see me for Deli Month. We really go to a good cause. 10% goes to the Holocaust Museum, and we'd love to see you.
L'chaim, Ziggy Gruber.
Ziggy Gruber,
Thank you so
we love
much.
you. You're part of our family. Yeah, you can find them right there off Post Oak Boulevard.
Thank you.
We'll be in there for my mom's birthday tomorrow, but don't tell her. Okay.